So welcome back everyone, Mike here. It is 5:40 a.m. and in about 45 minutes, Tom from Concrete with the Hauses and his crew will be here to pour this patio here. If you saw the last video, I moved all this stone out of the way, got everything ready. As soon as I was done with that, they came over, they got everything all formed up. They got the rebar in and the mesh. Everything's tied up, ready to go. They actually even have all their tools laid out, boots, everything. They'll be here about 6:30 and the concrete will be here right before 7. They were thinking about pouring yesterday afternoon, but this is going to be like a stamped wood look in there, and out here is going to be like a fieldstone or sandstone look. And when they're doing that stamping in the direct sunlight, it's not the best. So they want to come first thing this morning and pour. So I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's going to look fantastic. Now this guy here, old Archie, he's the one we're going to have to keep our eye on today. He could be out here, run 3 laps around the yard and twice across this patio before you knew what hit you. Huh, Arch? What you got?
Temperature looks nice. It's the perfect day for concrete.
All right, the guys showed up. Like I said, everything was all set. They're just kind of fine-tuning a few things. And here comes the first load. All right, that was the first load. They got this section here poured. We're just gonna have to wait on it for a little bit before they can get on it. All right, so we got Tom here with Concrete with the Hauses. What'd you get done so far, Tom?
Round 1's poured. It's starting to set up a little bit, probably about 10 more minutes. We're gonna start edging, troweling, getting it all smoothed out, ready for stamp. This will be the fieldstone portion of today's pour. The outer portion of the patio.
It's all timing with this stuff, huh?
Very small window of timing, yeah, but it is timing.
Yeah, got to get out when it's just right. Can't wait too long, can't start too early. It's got to be perfect. But cool weather like this, it's pretty decent for it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, much more opportunity to get some nice stamps in. You'll notice in the video when we start on the edge and we just lightly, pat them in with our hands, and by middle to end we're standing on them with tampers, tapping them in to tapping them in.
Yeah, cool. Say that again.
So when the timing's right, not every pour we can do this, but we have a big Fresno, we call it Big Blue. Tommy's getting on it now, and it's after you hit it with the bull float, now you can hit it with the Fresno, and it takes it, next step nicer, closer to a trowel finish. And if everything goes good, it'll take those bull float lines out and trowel it smooth, but we won't have to get on it with knee boards. Just saves us a step, and you run the risk of leaving a knee board mark. This is pretty level here, so any impression, now it's going to hold water. So if we don't have to get on it, then it just makes it a little bit better job. And it looks like it's working pretty well. Can you get that, Mike?
Yeah.
So at this point the concrete's getting fairly stiff. Still not ready to get on yet. You can see how it's just knocking those lines down. It's a fairly quick process. I think it's working real nice. So the concrete's all troweled smooth, edges are cut in. It's basically ready for stamp. Now what we do, the antiquing, just in the dust form, it's like a real fine dust that we just broadcast on just by, like you're throwing a frisbee. Just throw it on there and stamp on top of that. Alright, as we're getting close to the end, the concrete's getting a little bit tighter. Starting to really toe them in, as well as tamp. You can see how I take the skin. We have this little 1-inch lip that we're trying to get underneath. So we tuck it underneath there. And just kind of work it in there and get some slate texture all the way up to the building's edge. And then you try not to drag it out, you just try and pick it straight up. Like that. Voila. And this one is our floppy. You can see it's half the thickness. And you can just roll it right up to the building and get the mortar joint in there. There's a little stone pattern here. You just want to try and get good impression everywhere. A little bit more right there. When you see the dust on there that's untouched, that sort of tells you the pattern needs to go in a little bit more. Just toe around that edge and work it in. Right there. And see what I mean? Good impression. Steve said this one needs tamped in. So using the tamper now. Not hitting it real hard. It's going in real nice. I'm glad we started out in the sun area first. That corner is getting pretty hard out there. I would hate to finish out there. Nice when you can have know, a guy stamping, a guy touching up, and a guy going down the wall. Everybody doing their own thing, put together. These patterns are pretty easy to put down. We got a curved side and a notch side. Just line up the curves. Can you grab this corner for me? Which one? Over there. Yep. And you want to pick them straight up to drag them. Look at that. I recommend old clothes when you're doing this, old clothes. Even my good clothes have concrete on them, so it really doesn't matter what I wear. My wife said I do need to start dressing better if I'm going to be in front of the camera. I'll work on that.
So you come out here in a suit one day or something. It's deceiving because putting the dry powder on there, it looks like it's dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I can see you wouldn't think you'd be able to do what you're doing.
Who's got the powder? You tell me right here, Steve. I don't want to let this go. Yeah, these can go. We're going to be back tomorrow with my pickup truck. We can load them in my pickup tomorrow. Steve was getting a little bit of stickage there, so he just picked it up, threw some more release on it, release down. Yeah. Move the tampers over there. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that was fun. Actually went really good. Round one is all stamped, field stone. That's the sandstone undertone color with the Kalina tan antiquing. So it'll look like the wall a little bit, same color concept, not exact, and you know, how could we promise an exact match to that? But we're in the same family, so that's all we're looking for.
Earth tones.
Earth tones. Yep.
And then what's the next step on this?
The next step tomorrow, we'll come in, and maybe even today I'll come back and wash it a little bit. But the next big thing is tomorrow we'll do some saw cutting in it. If we don't do anything, we'll get a crack right down the center, and both ways right down the center, guaranteed. That's the only thing I can guarantee about it. And so we'll saw cut that, do our final cleaning, let that sit either to the next day, which would be Saturday, I'm thinking Saturday, because under here it's going to be wet for a little while, being that we're undercover. Saturday morning we'll come back in, leaf blow it off, and put our sealer on it. And where do you see the difference? Right now it'll be all dull looking. Once you put that sealer on it, it just brings it to life. It's
Yeah, I saw that video you did the other day where you resealed yours, cleaned it with that. What was that, acid or
xylene?
Xylene. Is that like an acid cleaner?
No, it's more of like a, I'm no chemist, but it's probably like a lacquer type product that goes in and it softens the old sealer and rebonds it to the concrete. Once the sealer becomes delaminated from the surface of the concrete, you get air in there and you get that whitish, cloudish look underneath the sealer. So hit it with a xylene like I did and scrub it with a broom. It's a real quick process and it rebonds that, and then I just follow it up with in that case, just a quick coat of sealer, and it brings it back to almost day one.
Yeah. So as you can see, this is a lot more labor intensive, but like Steven said, you're basically making concrete not look like concrete.
Yeah.
Really nice though.
And it's not a real bumpy stamp finish. Our old stamps, big difference, 3/4 of an inch from our high to low. So, I always had to warn the customers, hey, on your chair bottoms, make sure you have protective rubber bottoms on them, because, we get a lot of callbacks, hey, it's scratching. Where this is relatively flat, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
But it looks deep.
Yeah, it looks like more three-dimensional than what it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. So you guys do a great work. That's what I was wondering. Who came up with this idea years ago to do this stuff, I wonder?
Yeah.
Huh.
I wish I did.
Yeah.